I've been using SoFi as the main spending account with my husband for a few months now, and I've concluded that they are definitely one of the best checking and savings options out there. You may have heard of SoFi from their student loans or their investment accounts, but their checking and savings has some great benefits, including high rates on both the checking and savings accounts, some unique benefits, and a great app that's easy to use. They also have some of the best rates available, so let's talk about why SoFi might be the right fit for you. Before we dive in, I do want to say that I have a relationship with SoFi, so the links I leave in the description box will earn me a commission or a bonus if you choose to use them to open up an account. You don't have to do this, but you may get an additional bonus if you do so, and it's at no cost to you. So you can choose whether or not you use those links or just search for SoFi. You'll find them on Google and in the App Store. SoFi provides a lot of banking services, and in this review, I'm going to cover their checking and savings accounts, which you get all in one inside your account. Of course, we start with the bare minimum, which is no fees. I do not like paying fees just to have a checking or savings account, and this account has no fees. There are no overdraft fees. There are no minimum balance fees. There's no hidden fees that you won't be aware of. There is a great feature here with no overdraft fees, so you have coverage up to about $50 if you overdraft on your account, which as an account using for spending specifically for us, this is great for us just in case maybe we aren't paying attention and we put something on the card. So we overdraft before the next round of money comes into the account, because this is just an account we spend down to zero every single week. SoFi's no fee structure is very important and something that I value as a customer. It's very different than a bank like Wells Fargo that will charge you $10 a month and force you to keep $500 in the account. Otherwise, they start charging you for that. So when you compare it to the traditional banks, SoFi and their no fees is a great option. The next thing that SoFi does well with these accounts is their high yield. So they do have higher rates than traditional banks. I will say they are not the highest option for their savings accounts compared to other online banks and fintech companies in the space, but they do offer good rates. For savings accounts, currently the rate is 3.8 APY, and that is with direct deposit being set up. If you do not set up direct deposit, it is only 1%. So that is one thing to be aware of with SoFi. If you're not setting up direct deposit, you will not be getting the best rates possible. They do not offer it if you do not set up direct deposit. So if you are not planning to do that, it might not be the right fit for you. On the flip side of that, they also offer interest on their checking account, but you do get 0.5% APY currently on checking accounts. These rates are down from their previous highs, and they are something that will fluctuate. So you need to make sure that when you're signing up, you are aware of what the rate is and what you have to do to get it, like signing up for direct deposit. APY rates are subject to market conditions, so they are something that will change. So they might be different from the time that I'm filming this to when you are signing up for SoFi. So you'll have to check to see what's on their website. But as of this video, the rates were 3.8 on your savings account and 0.5% on your checking account. Another nice thing that SoFi does is they offer a sign up bonus. A lot of the online banks that are high yield savings accounts do not offer these big bonuses. This is more traditional banks where they are trying to get your business and they don't offer as many perks. The nice thing about SoFi is that they offer these bigger bonuses. Right now, you can get up to $300 when you set up a SoFi checking and savings account and you set up direct deposit. You can also sometimes get an extra bonus, maybe $25 or something like that, when you use a referral link, which I leave in my description box, but that's not always the case. So definitely check and make sure that they are offering that additional bonus. However, it is way more than what most of the other online high yield savings account banks offer. Another great thing about SoFi is that they do offer FDIC insurance on your money up to $250,000. They do have additional options to insure your money up to $2 million, but they have the traditional FDIC insurance up to $250,000, and that is because they are an actual bank. They did start as a fintech company, but they transitioned and SoFi is an actual bank now as of 2022. FDIC insurance means that your money's protected even if the bank has financial difficulties or for some reason closes or something else happens. A few more great features that SoFi offers are early paycheck access. So you can get your paycheck deposited up to 2 days early if it is something that is consistent and you have direct deposit set up. You can get access to your money sooner, which is nice if you are someone that maybe gets a little bit in a cash crunch close to paycheck time. That can be helpful. So you do get access early if that is something that you need. Then, like I said, they have overdraft protection, which we have used on our account and find to be a great option if you are getting close to the edge where you might not have a lot of money in your account and you know you may overdraft. They do not charge you on the overdraft. You have a protection up to $50. So any sort of small amount that you go over will not end up resulting in $35 fees and having you go much more negative just because you had a mistake. That feature is with direct deposit, and they do have standard overdraft coverage, so you can have money moved from your savings to your checking to cover any overages. So they do have a couple different options, and you can just look into which one would fit best for your situation. Then a personal favorite of mine is that they have saving vaults for your cash savings, and this is basically a budgeting tool that is built into the app, so you can put money into these little sub accounts that they call vaults. So you're able to have little sinking funds inside of your SoFi account where you can save up for things like a trip or for your car insurance or for any big expense that is down the road that you know is coming. The great thing about the vault balances is that they also earn interest because they are part of your savings account. So while you are saving up for big expenses, you can earn money on all of those little sub accounts that are called vaults. A few other things you need to know about SoFi. They are an actual bank. They are a legitimate bank. They're not just a fintech company any longer, but they do not have physical branches. So they are not a place where you can go in, speak to a banker, have a face-to-face relationship. So if that's important to you, SoFi is not going to be a good choice. It's also difficult to deposit cash into SoFi. They do have access to retailers, over I think 90,000 retailers where you can go and deposit cash, but these retailers will charge you $4.95 when you do so. It's not a great option, and one of the things that I think is a huge downside if you're using SoFi. But if you don't ever use cash and you don't plan to use cash, then it can be a good option because you can just transfer money in from another savings or checking account, and that way there is no fee. In addition to these accounts that I'm talking about, they also have a ton of other products. So if you wanted a bank where you can have everything in one place, they do have a lot of different loan options. They basically started with student loans and they have expanded outward from there. They also have a credit card option that gives 2% cash back. They have a lot of different products that you may want to look into if you are interested in having everything in one place. So should you bank with SoFi? Is it a good option? This is something you have to decide for yourself, but if you are looking for something that gives you a higher yield on your savings and your checking, it could be a good option. If you want an app that is really easy to use, very intuitive and well designed, SoFi is a great choice. If you're looking for a bank that gives a sign-up bonus when you start one of these accounts, SoFi has a great sign-up bonus in my opinion, especially for an online-only bank. If you want to make sure that your money is in a FDIC insured account, this is a good option because like I said, they are a legitimate bank and they do have that insurance, so your money is safe at SoFi. Then if you need any of the additional features that big banks don't offer, like early paycheck access or overdraft protection, this is a great reason to choose SoFi. Here's why you might not want to choose SoFi for your banking solution, and that is because you use a lot of cash. Honestly, if you use cash, I would not come near this. Or if you want to have a bank where you can go in person, where you at least know that even if you're not going often, you can go there, then SoFi won't be for you because of course they are online only. It is definitely a good choice for anyone that is comfortable with online banking, who doesn't need something physical and wants some of the better benefits that are out there for this type of account. You have to remember that to get some of the biggest benefits like the highest rates, you do have to set up direct deposit. So if you know that going in and you plan to kind of consolidate everything in one place at SoFi, it can be a great solution. We have really liked it as a spending account because the checking account does earn interest. So if we don't spend all of our money, we know that that money is earning earning a tiny bit of interest, which isn't a big deal. But we also know that the overdraft protection covers us in case we make a mistake and one of us spends too much money for the week in our budgeted amount that we transfer into SoFi every single week. If you're exploring options for online banks, it's a great choice. I have videos on other similar banks like Capital One. You can check that out. I have used multiple accounts because I think you should always have at least 2 banks, because if something happens, you want to have a backup, and that's worked really well for us. So if you are looking for another option, definitely check out this review of Capital One next.